What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Gen 1 checking in here. Alright guys, and today we've got a pretty interesting project. Alright, we're going to do a little tech video today on the strut installation. Okay, so why do I have these two struts out here? Basically because this was the strut that I had on the arrow here. Okay, and it wasn't supposed to be a permanent thing, you know. I just had it on here because that's all I had at the time, and you know, our bushing here kind of spun out. Like I said, I just kind of glued that on there. However, you know, I wanted to get a few quick runs in, and she did. You know, she did get a few good runs in. But today I'm gonna show you guys how to install the strut that I got off of AliExpress, and of course I'm gonna put a link on the description for the rudder, which I think I put on the last video, but I'll go ahead and put it again, for the rudder, the strut, the servo, you know, and I don't know if you guys want that link for the ESC, maybe the motor I'm using, you know. I'll go ahead and put a link for all that if you guys want to use the same exact setup. Okay, but today we're going to be installing this strut, which is a really nice piece. Okay, and this is the shaft from the Sonic Wake that I was using with this strut setup. So we're not going to be using that anymore. We're actually going to be using the 4mm shaft that I got off of AliExpress as well, with the 4mm collet. Okay, that goes into a 5mm motor shaft. Okay, so we'll just dive right into it, guys, and show you how this is done. Okay, the very first thing that we want to do here, okay, we want to take some measurements. All right, so what I've done is I've placed the strut, all right, right on the stuffing tube here. Okay, just to see, and clearly you can see that the stock stuffing tube is going to be a little long, so we're gonna have to cut it. So what you want to take first is the measurement from the strut mounting plate to the actual transom or the hole. Okay, you can see that there's a little gap there, so we're gonna have to cut that stuffing tube. All right, but we want to just kind of measure a few times and then cut it once. All right, so I've already taken the measurement for mine. Your guys is gonna be a little bit longer than that if you haven't cut it, because I've already cut it to install this Sonic Wake strut. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you kind of want to measure the distance, and of course these set screws right here are already set as far as they're gonna go. Okay, so I can't set them further anymore. If I could, then, you know, it'll be fine. I won't have to cut it, but that's as far as they're gonna go, so I'm gonna have to cut it. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, and I've already taken this measurement, you know, so it's already preset at around I believe 16 millimeters. Okay, so you're gonna measure just like that. All right, and you're gonna get more or less a ballpark right there of how much you're gonna have to cut off that shaft, and mine is gonna be around 16 millimeters, so I'm gonna measure from here to here around 16, and I'm gonna cut that stuffing tube. All right, guys, let me show you how that's done. But before we do, we actually have to remove the stuffing tube, which I think I've already loosened these screws in here. Okay, so go ahead and pull this plastic bracket out. All right, and we'll pull the stuffing tube right out of here. I had to actually pull this little bracket in the back out. All right, and then you're gonna see an O-ring sitting there. All right, and we'll actually try to break that free. Oh, sorry guys. So that did take a little persuasion to get the stuffing tube out of the transom there. Okay, and you'll see that there's an O-ring there, and you want to get that off. Mine is stuck on there because I used a little glue on there. We'll get it off carefully. Okay, I don't want to break the O-ring. However, so you're gonna get the stuffing tube out. Okay, and this is where you're gonna take that measurement again, which mine is kind of preset already. All right, we kind of determined that I needed the 16 millimeters removed. Okay, so what I'm gonna use to remove that is one of these. Okay, it's a small pipe cutter. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that measurement, okay, and I'm going to mark it. Got our little blue marker here. All right, so we're gonna measure. Like I said, it's already preset on mine because I've taken the measurement, and I'm gonna mark it right there. And I know that I don't want to cut any further than that area. You guys probably have a better marker than this. Mine is kind of worn out. All right. Right there. Okay, so we'll get right into cutting that. Here we go. And this right here is incremental, okay guys? You don't want to squeeze this real hard because then it's going to be hard to turn the pipe, okay, or whatever it is you're cutting. So we're going to apply some pressure there, okay? Then we're going to rotate it just like that. All right, and then you guys can grab one of these pipe cutters at any local hardware store. I grabbed this one at Home Depot. All right, so I mean, I can probably find you guys a link to one of these on Amazon or something like that. If you guys are, you know, just like online shoppers, you'd rather shop online, I'll try to find that for you guys. And again, you don't have to use one of these. You can kind of use you know, whatever your preferred pipe cutter is, but this is what I'm using. All right. So just because none of us are perfect, all right, I didn't want to cut too much off. Okay, I knew that I wanted to cut 16 millimeters off roughly. Okay, so you always want just a tiny bit, you know, in case that you know, you didn't take the proper measurement at first. Okay, so we're gonna slide our stuffing tube back in here. Okay, so it needs a little persuasion, just like it did when we took it out. Okay. Alright, I'm going to use this plier. Alright, be careful not to damage the stuffing tube with the plier. Alright, we're going to kind of sit it where it goes. And it'll sit. Alright, so that's where it's going to sit right there. Okay. So, now we've got that there. You know, that's where it sits. Alright, so that's where it's going to sit. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put our strut here. And you'll see that we can still take a little bit more off. Okay, we may be able, let's see here. Alright, that's as far as it's going to go. So we know we can't go further. So, yeah, we can probably, actually, I'm not going to cut the pipe again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grind, okay, I'm going to grind some of that right off the tip, which I wanted to do to just kind of like smooth it out anyway, because we're actually close enough, guys. I don't want to cut it with the pipe cutter again. All right, because we are really close there. You can see that the strut here is actually touching the transom already, so we're not going to cut that. We're just going to kind of grind this a little bit, smooth it out, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, all right guys, so basically these are the tools that we're going to use here. Okay, and it's just going to be a rotary tool. Okay, we've got our grind wheel on there, and we've got this right here just to kind of smooth the inside of the pipe, okay, around the circumference there. All right, so that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're just going to use these two tools right here. All right, we're going to grind some off, okay, and then we're going to keep fitting it, okay, with our strut, all right, to make sure that we hit this transom flush. Okay, this is what we want. We just want that to sit real flush with the stuffing tube in there. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grind the outside with the grind wheel. Okay, and once I smooth it down, okay, I'm going to keep fitting that tube in there like I said. Alright, so I'm going to do that now. Alright, so like I said, I've ground down that stuffing tube just a little bit. Alright, so we're going to test fit this again. And you know what? We are getting really close here. Okay? you can see there's a little tiny gap right there on the transom. I don't know if you guys can see it, okay? So we're just gonna take a little tiny bit more material off of that stuffing tube, all right, so that we can have that sit real nice and flush, okay? And then we're gonna move forward with the Teflon liner, okay? And then we'll finalize the strut, okay? So I think we pretty much got it where we want it, okay? You'll see right there, that is sitting really, really nice and flush with the transom, okay? So that's what we're gonna go with right there, all right, guys? And that's gonna be the final look on that, okay? I'm gonna show you how to drill the holes out and how to mark them, okay, to drill them out. All right, so we're gonna work on our stuffing tube a little bit here, or we'll see what we get into first, okay? Maybe we'll kind of set this strut in place before we get into the stuffing tube, but we'll see. All right, guys? Okay, guys, so basically what we've done here, we've installed our Teflon liner, okay, to help with the alignment of the strut, okay? Just gonna slide it right in here, okay? So all we have to worry about is left to right alignment, okay? Which you guys can probably eyeball that real good, all right? And you'll see that right there, we'll see that looks fairly straight right there, okay? So that's all you got to do. You'll go ahead and mark that with your Sharpie, all right? And then what you'll do after that, once you mark it, you can actually remove these screws right here, these nuts and bolts, all right? And you can just have the bracket that's gonna mount on the transom all by itself, okay? Making that a lot easier for you to mark the holes that you're gonna make, okay? All right, guys, so I basically had a really sharp pick, okay? This thing is super, super sharp, okay? And what I did is, when I had my strut bracket up here, I pretty much marked those little holes right there with my pick. The pick is actually so sharp, it could even go through the plastic without a problem, okay? But I've got my holes marked there, okay? And we're gonna drill out those holes to the proper size for our mounting screws, okay? That's what we're gonna do next. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's the finished product. It looks super, super sweet. So the last part was just, you know, basically like I told you guys, mark and make your little holes, drill them out, okay, for your screws, and pretty much just install that bracket, that strut, okay? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think it was a real neat tech video for you guys, all right? And then here's our shaft that we're gonna use, the 4mm shaft, and I can make a video on this if you guys want, you know, but I think this is pretty straightforward. You just cut it to the length that you need, okay? And just go from there, okay, guys? Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon. Gen 1 out.